Yes, hello, I am turning my final project for English class into a YouTube video. Again. Why? One, convenience, and two, I did last year. Why not keep up this tradition? Hopefully this project will be less crappy. I'm turning this video in as a part of my final project, so on one hand, I feel I should try to sound a little more formal, but on the other, I can't be formal in videos to save my life, you know this. At least I'm trying to do something like a script, sort of ish, so I don't sound as much like an idiot. Oh, by the way, hi Mrs. Harmon or Mrs. Boyd. I don't know which one of you is watching or grading this. Okay, I think that might have been too long of an intro. So, you may be looking at this entire whatever piece of crap I'm doing and think, hey, this isn't what me would normally draw. What gives? Well, that's because it isn't what I normally would draw. We had plenty of options to choose from for our final projects, and I, of course, being me and picking just great decisions, I chose the one art project. I had to illustrate 5 to 10 important events that happened in the book Night by Elie Wiesel. Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. The book is about the experience of a Holocaust survivor, so of course this isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Unfortunately, I feel my art style is way too cutesy, if you know what I mean, for this type of thing. But I still went for it because, I don't know, just how do you even pronounce that word? Juxtaposition. Sorry, hillbilly accent doesn't help me much. But yeah, I thought the juxtaposition might be interesting. Uh, I debated trying to go kind of more realistic with this as opposed to what I normally do, but one, I suck at realism, and I also thought I wouldn't I wouldn't enjoy it as much. Plus, it will be a whole lot more work, especially since I had to get these all done within the span of a week. On top of this video, so I went for something a bit more abstractish, I guess you could say, even though it still took 3 freaking hours to color all of these. However, I don't regret it as much. While the colors are pretty, each color carries with it a meaning, and each stroke of color put on each page has its own little purpose. I tried to make the meanings somewhat hidden, so you have to really think, but with an understanding of the events that happen in the book, as well as some creativity. You can point out what each color symbolizes and see how it's expressed in these events. Wow. I just realized I should probably talk about what I'm actually drawing right here. Real quick. Here we got the first picture in the series. It's our main character, Elie. The first time he really questioned his faith in Judaism and why he believed that was when Moshe, a character he looked up to asked him why he prays. You can tell, oh, it's one of the, if not the first time he had ever asked himself that. You may also notice that Elie is completely lacking in color, like a blank canvas. There's a bit of a reasoning behind a lack of color, too. Okay, so our next picture, when Elie first arrives in, how would you pronounce this, Birkenau? I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. But anyways, Elie is split between anger and I'm not even sure if sadness is the right word. I wrote that in the script, but more devastation. He sees his fellow human beings burned, and he just cannot believe that people would do that, and that's what he's seeing. Honestly, I'd be kind of devastated too. I mean, throughout reading the book, I couldn't help try to think how would I feel if I was in Elie's perspective. I mean, this kid was 15. I'm turning 15 really freaking soon, so he most likely wasn't a full year older than me. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, that's the left side. On the right side, anger. Throughout the book, Elie has this internal conflict with his beliefs in God, a just God, or God. I don't even know how to phrase this. I'm going off script, but the just and righteous God instead, though he's getting more of the idea that God isn't even paying attention to humanity freaking destroying itself. He just can't see why God will let something like the Holocaust happen. While these first two drawings came to me quite naturally, these next ones admittedly were a lot harder to put onto paper and illustrate. However, I still pulled through. Here we are now. Whoa. Here we have when families are first separated. I feel like I messed this one up to an extent because I remembered Ellie having two sisters, though I wasn't sure, and I looked up who his siblings were and went with that. I saw he had 3 siblings, so I drew 3 girls and a mother sticking out from the crowd on the other side. I don't completely remember for sure if this was accurate, though I had already inked this by the time that I had any doubts, and I honestly was starting to get burnt out a bit with all the inking and having to deadlines. However, the same message still got across, I believe. I used the same pink color from the last picture in an attempt to represent anger. You can see it coming from the smoke, sort of. I also have black in order to reflect a prominent symbol in night, and that is, well, night. It is a symbol that will be seen much more going further. Over here, we have what I believe will be nicknamed the Death March, I believe. A winter where all the prisoners in the Camp Buna were transported through ice, cold, and blizzard towards the center of Germany so that they wouldn't get captured by the Americans or the Allies and whoever. I didn't want to overload myself with this project, so I stuck with 3 pictures, not 3. I stuck with 6 pictures. However, I wanted at least one to reflect Ellie and his father's relationship through the majority of the book. As time went on, many captives developed a sort of indifference to death, from my understanding, going on without reason to, all the while death will not be minded. Who cares if it came? That feeling is represented by another color used often in this series. I feel I didn't describe that well enough, but yeah. While reading the book, you still see these feelings in Ellie and his father, even though they don't really have much of a will to go on, yet they do. They still keep going on, not for themselves, but for each other. They're each other's only support. Our next one, kinda sad, is when Ellie's father eventually dies. At first, he got sick with dysentery, and Ellie stayed in the bunk below in order to care for him. Though unfortunately, he dies in the book much before the end. Ellie woke up to find he had been taken to the incinerator. Well, likely. However, he surprisingly doesn't feel so bad about it. He was more focused on the thought that he didn't have to take care of his father anymore. And he felt really freaking guilty for that. Surprisingly, death often doesn't have the full effect you initially expect it to, at least in my experience. And at least 2, I assume. Okay, last one here I don't feel as proud of either, though that's the perfectionist in me talking. Probably. This is actually our ending. Towards the end, Ellie stays with a bunch of children in another camp, Buchenwald. I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to portray this, though I decided to have some messy-looking children hiding from a tank they weren't aware had fought in their favor. Yes, I know I suck at drawing tanks. I think I might have been on the brink of burnout whenever I did those last few sketches and inkings, but I don't know. But yeah, gray and black and children, once blank canvas. I suck at talking! But yeah, gray and black and children, once blank canvases, like Ellie in the first drawing. Look at them now, after all this crap. And yeah, that's all, folks. Wait, I can do better. That's all, folks. I mean, why am I? Okay. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I don't fail this assignment. I have a feeling that this voiceover made this sound dumber than it actually is. Night is actually quite an interesting book if you take a read at it. Really makes you think. I mean, it actually kind of made me think a lot more about life in general. At first, the main reason I picked that was because I already figured out long ago that I don't like reading Shakespeare. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you want to see any of the less depressing or morbid crap that I draw, you can look in the description. Adios.